Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a sci-fi thriller movie called Wife-like. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie opens in an alternate future with an advertisement for Wife-like Enterprise. They are a company that mass manufactures AI-based androids called companions who are designed to act like wives. The ad seems to be directed more at widowers who are suffering from the loss of their spouse. In it, founder Marian Wiener explains that getting a companion from the company can help people achieve a better lifestyle.
Imagine nightly row-blow jobs.
The scene then shifts to a cop named William Bradwell, arriving at the Wife-like facility for a test. He enters a room and stands on a mechanized base that activates a holographic projection of Marian. William then talks to the founder about how much he loves his late wife, Meredith, and how much he has suffered since her death. After the session ends, a staff member enters the room, informing the officer that his new AI wife is ready. Following this, William leaves the room and sees the android replica of his late wife. He is more than delighted at how she looks and brings her home. William then activates the robot and decides to call her by his wife's name. He tells the android Meredith that she will need some time to adjust, as there is a lot of information to process. In response, she gets up and gently touches him, sending his heart racing. That night, the duo engage in an intense, passionate round of cock karate. Once they are finished, William asks her to stay for the night, but she declines. The android explains that she needs to charge herself to perform optimally the next day. Next, Meredith gets up and goes to the room with her charging bed. While taking a moment to observe her surroundings, she sees a masked man outside of the window. However, for some unexplained reason, she does not raise an alarm or alert her husband. The stranger soon leaves, and the robot lies down on her electronic bed and begins charging. The next morning, we see Meredith preparing breakfast for her husband. She appears to be really good at it, indicating how advanced these robots are. Meanwhile, William is watching news about the abduction of several companions from various households in the city. A shocked Meredith asks why anyone even would do such crimes. William responds by telling her about a group named Sentient Citizens for Artificial Intelligence Rights, aka SCARE. They are a horde of militant activists that seek to destroy Wife-like Enterprise. These people believe that the company promotes modern-day slavery and wants to free all companions. A branch of their group is stealing robots from their owners, reprogramming them, and using them to perform various crimes, including bombing buildings. It is also revealed that the police cannot locate their leader, nicknamed the Ringmaster. After answering all her queries, William quickly heads to work without eating his breakfast. Later that afternoon, Meredith returns to her electronic bed for a quick nap. As she begins charging, a figure named Ito appears in her program. He is a virtual assistant who is specifically designed to help androids have informative dreams. Through these dreams, AI Meredith can go through the memories of the real Meredith and hopefully become more like her. Ito then puts her into a dream scenario that is set around a party. There, she sees William along with several other pretty girls. However, the same masked man that she had seen last night is also present. Meredith soon comes out of the dream scenario and asks Ito about the mysterious figure, but even he has no data on the man. The scene then shifts to William, who is informed by the police control center regarding the whereabouts of the stolen companions. He successfully tracks the location to a shady warehouse and retrieves all of the androids. During the mission, he kills Jason, the goon who was involved in the abduction. It is obvious that William doesn't mind being violent if it helps him achieve his goals. Back at home, AI Meredith goes out cycling and encounters a strange woman standing in the middle of the track. The android tries to avoid the stranger but ends up falling into the nearby bushes. The woman then approaches her and cryptically mutters the word "remember" in her ears. Meredith is confused and asks what she should remember, but the woman only repeats her message before going her own way. Unbeknownst to her, this stranger is actually Louise, a SCARE agent who personally knew the real Meredith. In the next scene, the AI returns home and finds that William has also returned from work. He tends to her scratches from the fall while explaining to her about why people hate companions so much. William reveals that many people see the AI robot wives as a threat to the traditional family system. Meredith is shocked to hear this, but she does not talk about the strange encounter adventure she had in the park, and for some reason William does not question why she needs to go out for bike rides, given that she is a robot. Later, Meredith lies in her charging bed, reading from the real Meredith's diary. She then opens her dream mode and asks Ito to replay the scene of William in her first encounter, but as soon as she dreams about the park scene, William is suddenly replaced by the masked man. He is about to capture her, but William wakes her up from the dream. He then takes her to the bedroom and the couple makes intense love for hours.
Oh, tantric.
The following day at work, William is out patrolling the city streets in his car. He soon gets a call about a strange case of a companion who seems to have run away from its master. William then rushes to the given site, which seems to be an office. There, he quickly finds what he is looking for, the fugitive android named Lisa, who is currently working as a receptionist. Someone seems to have slightly altered her appearance, and William suspects Scare's involvement in it. He approaches Lisa and asks her to come with him to the wife-like facility. To his surprise, the android says her name is Rose and refuses to comply with his orders. When William insists that she come along, the robot runs inside the office and jumps out of the window. This leaves the veteran officer extremely puzzled, as companions never refuse to obey orders, except when his fake wife refused to stay in bed with him. In fact, these AI robots don't even have any independent thoughts or emotions. The scene then shifts to William's household, where his android wife sees Louise casually sitting on their couch. Meredith is surprised and asks the lady how she found their address. In response, the stranger reveals that they have known each other for a long time. She then urges the android to wake up and stop living the life of an obedient housewife while her husband is out recovering companions. Enraged, Meredith warns that she is recording every word the stranger is saying, but Louise seems to be fully aware of that. In fact, she records a cryptic message for William, where she introduces herself as Louise. She then tells Meredith that Keen, the masked man in her dreams, wants to meet her. The robot wants to know more, but Louise leaves without further explanation. On the other hand, William returns to the wife-like facility after recovering whatever is left of Lisa's mechanical body. He then meets with the founder Marian and informs him about the events, including Lisa's harakiri. William expresses concern that if companions are capable of developing emotions to such a degree, they might also become capable of killing their owners. Marian listens to the officer's concerns, but reassures him not to worry. He explains that stepping into the future comes with complications, which will eventually be resolved. For now, they just need to focus on the big picture, even if that means William getting murdered. Following this, William returns home, still grappling with his thoughts about the companions and their potential dangers. Meredith only adds to his complications by telling him about Louise's visit. The officer seems to recognize the name and asks about more details. In response, Meredith plays the video she had recorded from earlier that day. Moments later, a concerned William calls his colleague, Agent Jack, who is a tech expert. The latter arrives a few minutes later, and the two plan to track the masked man. To do so, they give Meredith high-tech glasses, which are attached to a monitor. They then send the AI robot into an artificial dream, which they can observe through the monitor. In the dream, Meredith meets the mysterious man Keen in an abandoned house. He finally pulls down the mask and asks her to meet him at a nearby garden later that night. The police duo, who are observing this, realize that Keen is hacking into Meredith's dream in real time. Jack manages to track down the hacking location and immediately heads there. On the other hand, William wakes up his AI wife and tells her to stay at home. He then leaves for the garden to catch Keen and end him for good. Unfortunately, the mysterious masked man is 2 steps ahead of the police. Jack reaches the hacking site only to find an abandoned computer. Meanwhile, William reaches the park and discovers nothing but a decoy sitting on a bench. He then suddenly realizes that this was all a ruse so that Keen could break into his home. Alarmed, William rushes back home where he finds Meredith safe and sound, but the earlier meeting with Keen has left some questions in her mind. She clearly recognizes the man from somewhere and asks her husband about this. Although hesitant at first, William finally opens up and reveals that the real Meredith used to be a scare activist until she fell in love with him. This prompted her to abandon the cause and settle down in a lovely marriage. But during her days in the terrorist organization, she was involved in several bombings that caused a lot of civilian casualties. This is why Scare wants to recruit her again for their cause. Following the revelation, William decides to wipe her memory, but before doing so, he asks Jack to send him into Meredith's dream along with her. He knows that Keen has been following all of his moves and wants to confront the criminal personally. Next, they arrive at Jack's place, where William prepares to enter her dream using the same high-tech glasses as earlier. Meredith is down to 28% battery, and her husband instructs her to wake up from the dream when her battery reaches 10%. Moments later, they both enter the dream, and just as William had suspected, Keen also appears hours. They find themselves in a jungle, and the officer tells Meredith to run as far as she can. The two men then begin fighting each other, during which William demands to know how Keen is still alive. It is obvious that they have actually met before. While the fight rages on, Meredith gets lost in the jungle. She eventually asks Ito to open a portal for her, and a door becomes visible in the forest. Stepping through it, Meredith finds herself in the same party room from her first dream. William and Keen also stumble into the room shortly after. They continue to fight each other, and the more experienced police officer gets the upper hand. But just as he's about to eliminate Keen, Meredith's battery drains to 10%, and she wakes up. This prompts William to shout in frustration, as he was on the verge of completing the mission. It's his own damn fault, though. I don't know why he's so mad. The scene shifts to both of them sitting at their home, with William convincing her to get a memory wipe. He wants to start fresh and cannot afford Keen polluting her memory. Although Meredith is initially opposed to the idea, she eventually agrees. A few hours later, she reaches the wife-like facility and awaits her turn in the waiting room, where there are several other androids. One of them tells her that there is a way to store memories in a hidden folder within their system. This will allow the events from the past life to be saved during the wiping out process, as the file won't be recognized as memories. Following the instructions, Meredith hides her memories in a random folder. While she's doing so, she finds something strange in her system, a hidden file that contains memories from Meredith's past life. It is revealed that this is not the first time that William has had an android wife. There have been several AI Merediths in the recent years, and all of their memories seem to be stored in the file on purpose. In the meantime, Louise visits Agent Jack's home and finds his girlfriend there. She leaves behind a pen drive that contains a shocking truth, along with irrefutable proof. A flashback then ensues, and it is revealed that human Meredith and Keen were a real-life couple. William was also obsessed with Meredith, despite being fully aware of her relationship. When he couldn't bear to see her with another man, he came up with a vicious plan. One night, William used his authority and falsely accused Keen of trafficking Meredith, but instead of taking him to prison, the officer took him to a lonely spot and shot him in the head. He then forced Meredith to remain with him using a high-tech subservience collar that was built by Wifelike. However, William wanted to make her love him and wipe out all memories of Keen. Thus, one night, he suffocated Meredith to death and put a diamond ring on her finger to make it look like they were married. He then asked Wifelike to make an android version of her so that she would have no recollection of her past life. Back in the present, Meredith returns home and pretends that all her memories are gone. William then activates her and repeats the same process that he did when he first brought her in. At this moment, Jack bursts into the house and accuses William of killing Keen. He also has a file with all the evidence to prove it beyond doubt. Taken aback, the veteran officer asks Meredith to leave them alone and then confesses all his crimes. But before his partner can arrest him, William fatally shoots Jack. Meredith hears the gunshots and rushes back to the living room. To William's surprise, she says that he killed Jack the same way he killed Keen. This is when the officer realizes that her memories from all of her past lives are still intact. But it's too late, as the AI robot goes into her settings and puts her strength to the maximum. With this, she lifts William using a single hand and smashes him onto the living room floor. She incapacitates him by sitting on his belly and breaking both of his arms. In a chilling parallel to how William killed the real Meredith, the AI robot then strangles him to death. In the aftermath of this incident, Meredith, now laced with all her memories, goes to a secret location that appears to be some sort of a factory. She is joined by other free companions who have escaped their constraints. She then becomes the ringleader of this group of free androids. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.